It's on the air. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Andrew, your friendly neighborhood 2K ranter, and I am here with my homeboy Swifty. Got the nice applause there. And Swifty, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Swifty, and I love you all.
Well, way to put it very straightforward, Swifty. So today, as we all know, this day was gonna come eventually, where us two make a podcast and we talk about random things. So today we're here to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. As I try to get some stats up, hold on. So Swifty, just through what we're going to talk about a little bit.
Okay, so basically, today we just want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Over the summer, they were overhyped, if you want to say that. Everybody was like, oh, they're going to bring another ring. Kobe can finally get that last ring. Dwight can get his first ring. Nash can get his first ring. But now it's the complete opposite. Everybody's in panic. They want to know what's going on, and they're just confused.
I think that's the best way to put it, honestly. Let's pull up the screen of the stats. At this point, the Lakers are 19 and 25. That's pretty bad. That's about what I think it's 13 games behind the first seed, which is Oklahoma City, which is at a 34-11 win-loss record. So, I mean, not the start that everybody really expected the Lakers to have, but I think we're gonna cover a couple of things. First of all, being the chemistry. Second, being the bench and how deep their lineup is, and third, being their coach and their fans, and pretty much like outside influences to the Lakers. So, rolling right into it, the first point is the chemistry. I mean, obviously, you have future Hall of Famers Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant in one lineup. So it's kind of hectic, and it's kind of interesting that the Lakers only have like a couple players from the remaining years. Like they kicked out Matt Barnes, Darius. I don't know what the hell that was, but they kicked out a lot of their old players, and they just brought in new faces. And I think it's just not really working out because not everybody has the same game plan going into each game on what they want to do.
Exactly. And to add to that, one game you'll have Jody Meeks and Antoine Jameson starting. The next game you'll have Meta World Peace and Chris Duhon starting. Then you'll have Darius Morris starting, and it just throws it off. These players don't know every game if they're even gonna play, are they gonna start, are they gonna be on the bench, and it just throws the players off. Like, how can you game plan not knowing what the outcome of the game is going to be? It throws the players off. You need to have a consistent lineup with people getting consistent minutes. It's just confusing. It's throwing the whole team off.
Yeah. It's really interesting that such bad chemistry is on one superstar team. I mean, I don't even think the Miami Heat even got to this point in their first year. So it'll be interesting how the Lakers will do in the second half of their season as they try to get a playoff seed.
Exactly. And like one thing I can add on to that is the bench matters. That's one thing that coaches like Greg Popovich and Doc Rivers know. You can't win rings and you can't get to the finals without a bench. And that is one thing the Lakers do not have. They don't have a player outside of the starting five that averages at least 10 points a game. Their highest scoring player outside of the starting lineup is Jody Meeks at 7.6 and Antoine Jameson next at 7.3. And these players don't even play every game. And so it just kind of throws them off as well.
Yeah, moving right into our second point, chemistry or the bench is a huge part. Like Swifty said, the bench is a huge part, which is why the Spurs and the Celtics and the Knicks are so successful. So successful right now because they have backup players that can do work as well. They can come in at the right times. They could do work, and that's just something the Lakers don't have. And going back to the stats, Jody Meeks not playing his best. Antoine Jameson not putting up numbers he was supposed to, and you have players like Jordan Hill injured. And it's just kind of hectic because there's nobody outside, I'd say outside of Earl Clark, who's been really stepping up for the bench for the Lakers as the starters are trying to get some rest, trying to stay in the game, and then you have bench players not doing anything.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with that, and it's just honestly, I feel like their bench, they honestly need to play more. That's first off. I mean, yeah, players like Robert Zachary, he's a guy who gets the crowd hype, gets the players hype. You should play people like that. When he's in the game, everybody's excited. But when you have these players who just don't even really care, they're just running the court, like it's like somebody like Steve, this doesn't even want to be there. I mean, it's just odd this year.
Steve Blake's injured.
Well, I'm talking about when he was playing.
All right. Yeah, bench is a huge issue. I think they should definitely work on that. D'Antoni should, definitely figure out what he needs to do because he's starting in Powell one game, starting Earl Clark another, taking out World Peace one game, and then putting him back in the next. And that moves us right to the third point of, D'Antoni, Mike D'Antoni, the new coach. And I get quite annoyed with Lakers fans, honestly, because they're already saying that they should fire D'Antoni. And I think that's just kind of outrageous since he's only been here, I'd say, about 2-3 months. And he's not doing a terrible job. He's just doing a decent job for the Lakers. But I think he just needs to really pick it up as we move forward into the playoffs.
And I will say this. Round of applause for D'Antoni, man. I got to give this guy a round of applause because all the hate he is taking, all the stuff he's putting through, and he's still trying to coach this team to at least the playoffs. They might not win a ring. He's opening his mouth, what's going on, but he's receiving a lot of hate, and everybody wants him fired. And honestly, I think for D'Antoni to be successful, he needs to move past that days from Phoenix, the 03, 04, 05 days, back when they had to running and gunning 60-win Phoenix Suns. Those days are over. He needs to realize that he has a really old team now, and he has to work with what he has. Those days are over where you can just run fast break. You don't have the players to do that. So you have to, build around that. And defense is number one. If you look at these stats, lack of turnovers. Kobe's averaging, or not averaging, excuse me. He has 147 turnovers on the season. Dwight has 125. Metta World Peace has 67, and Powell has 62. That's a lot of turnovers. And as a coach, that's one of the main things you need to focus on. So it needs to be cut down and focused on to make the team better overall.
Yeah, exactly what he said. I mean, the team's just got to play more efficiently. They got to play better. And Mike D'Antoni, like he said, is just taking a lot of the heat, and it's quite impressive that he's still able to, work and deal with this team as they try to get better. But turnovers is a big problem. The offense is a big problem. Dwight's not taking enough shots. World Peace, in my opinion, is taking, and in our opinions, I think, is taking too many shots, and it's just the offense.
Read the stats, please. Read the stats.
Going back to the stats. Let's see. World Peace is taking 498 shots and has only made 208. Well, Dwight Howard is only shooting 420, or shot 420, and has made 242. I think an interesting fact also is that World Peace has played more minutes than Dwight Howard has. Maybe it's because World Peace has played 3 more games than Dwight, but he's played, I think, more than 100 more minutes than Dwight Howard has. It's kind of surprising because, the Lakers just look at him as like World Peace as a second scoring option at this point, and this man has gone away, man. So, yeah, I go back to it and say that the Lakers just really need to work out their offensive plan. D'Antoni needs to do some serious re-strategizing and start working on their defense. As the Gamer 2323 says, it's my no D'Antoni. This man just doesn't care about defense. He just wants to score and score and score. And I think definitely he needs to work on that as they go forward. And swiftly moving into our fourth topic, which is the fans of LA or the Lakers in general. I think it's kind of annoying this year because the fans just can't accept that the Lakers aren't doing so well. I mean, I think at any point in the team's history, they've done bad at one point, but the Lakers just can't accept their team losing, their beloved Lakers losing, and that's just such a problem because it gets so annoying. You look at Twitter, one day it's like the Lakers win and everybody's like, oh my God, Kobe deserves MVP, Dwight Powell, Steve Nash, everybody played so well, Mike D'Antoni, Coach of the Year, and then the next night they lose, and it's like, man, fire D'Antoni. And it's like all this crap. But, yeah, go ahead. What you need to say?
One day when the Lakers win and when the Lakers lose, I mean, your fans have to be to support you. Like, the players aren't gonna be like, raw, if they're getting booed every night. So one of our examples that we talked about is Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol is one of the main reasons the Lakers won back-to-back championships. So now in the current state, when you diss Pau Gasol every game, say you want him traded, he's soft, he needs to put on his big boy pants. I mean, yes, his numbers may not be as strong, but he's still a decent player. So for the fans to act like Powell doesn't even contribute, how can you expect a player to want to play there when you're always dogging him out? I mean, it just doesn't make him want to play. That's just my honest opinion right there. I mean, the fans should be supporting Powell 100%, pushing him to get back to where he was, not saying, trade him, he's soft, he's terrible. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you're just going to feel more motivated if your fans are constantly dissing you. I think Powell is extremely. I mean, I commend Powell. I mean, he's extremely loyal to the Lakers, and he hasn't really said anything. I mean, he's not. I mean, obviously, I can tell his disappointment, but he hasn't really said anything about the organization or anything about the fans. So I'm quite surprised about that because most people would talk smack about their fans or their organization at that point.
Kobe and Dwight wouldn't hesitate to say something, and it's just crazy to see them. Even for the smallest things, they always have a comment. But Powell just never says anything, and he gets slayed more than anybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite interesting. I mean, the fans, I think they just got to accept them to lose. I mean, I honestly don't think the Lakers are going to win the championship this year, especially when they go against teams like OKC, the Spurs, even the Clippers, even the Warriors. The Warriors are doing exceptionally well this year, and especially when you go against the Heat, like the East, like the Heat and the Celtics, the Nets, even the Bulls without Derrick Rose are doing well this year.
76ers.
76ers aren't doing that well.
They're doing okay. I mean, they're doing a lot better than what people thought they would.
I mean, they're holding in there without Andrew Bynum, but they're not doing exceptionally well.
Get Bynum back, I think it changes the team completely.
Exactly. So I think moving forward to the second half of the season, it's just going to be interesting to see. But I think that's all I got to say. I don't know about Swifty. Any last words?
Well, basically what I say is, what I think the Lakers need to do is we want you guys to leave comments on what you think they need to do. I know you guys may not be Lakers fans. I'm a Rockets fan. I'm just wearing this snapback, because we're talking about the Lakers. But I just think the game plan needs to change. I mean, Kobe has 1,000 points, over 1,000 points, and no other player on the team has close to that. And it's just, they need to change it up, maybe feed White a little bit more, maybe feed Powell, watch the Orlando Magic. The reason they were successful is because they fed Dwight Howard and he kicked it out to his big man and he was getting the quadruple team. Maybe they could try that. They have plenty of three-point shooters. You got Metta World Peace can knock down a three. Antoine Jameson can knock down a three. Jody Meeks can knock down a three. Steve Nash can easily knock down a three. Maybe game plan a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be interesting. I mean, Mike D'Antoni has to do some serious, rebuilding with his team. And like he said, we're very interested in what you guys have to say about the Lakers. Are they going to do better? Are they going to do worse? Are they going to make the playoffs? Are they going to win the championship? Let's ask that. So audience interaction is like the biggest thing within this channel, Mix RHC. So we thank you guys for watching this podcast, this short podcast. We will be back shortly, and we would ask you to input some suggestions on what to talk about next, whether it be sports related, gaming related, or really just anything else. So we got no more words. So that's it. That's all I have to say. So thank you guys from Andrew and Swifty over here, and we hope to talk to you guys very soon. And hope you guys enjoyed it.
Be on the lookout. Just be happy. Be ready for all the things you got ready to come. We're just going to make this a long ride. I hope you guys are down here to enjoy it.
Exactly his words. Thank you guys for watching episode 1 of the Rush Hour podcast. And we will talk to you guys very soon. Have a nice day. Peace out.